So currently the entire Earth is being invaded by vampires. But what is Wolverine, one of the best hunters in the Marvel Universe, doing during all of this? Well, my name is AJ here at the Hero Informer, and let's find out. We see Logan at some bar in the middle of California, with even the skies outside being darkened due to Blade's manipulation. As you see, the vampires now have free range across the entire globe to attack and turn anybody they can. But here we see Logan is just chilling, even watching the news as the Avengers try to fight off this threat. But as he is here alone, he says on the bright side, at least the beer is free, as he goes to pour himself another mug. But before he is able to, we see there is another intrusion, some armed forces, who seem to be looking specifically for Logan himself. And with this, Logan then puts on his cowl and pops his claws, getting ready to do what he does best, as he then lunges for the group. And let me tell you, this battle gets brutal, as he lunges and slices the neck of the first person he reaches, saying he reacts on instinct, taking out the nearest threat. But just then his instincts take a back seat, especially when he sees how young they are. But this slight hesitation does nothing but put Wolverine in a bad spot, as one of the soldiers shoot him point blank in the chest. Because yeah, even though Wolverine has a pretty good healing factor and can heal from almost all kinds of wounds, he still feels the pain and it still hurts him, as he then clutches himself and falls to his knees. And with this, Logan stops showing sympathy, as the armed forces then walk forward on Logan's downed body, getting within reach for him to stab one through the head, and continue the fight. And this is less of a fight and more of a massacre, as there is nothing so far that they can even do to slow Wolverine down, as he pretty quickly dismantles and cuts them into pieces, each individual soldier. Because even though they are young, he says deep down, he knows better, that these boys are gone, consumed by the uncontrollable bloodlust of being a vampire now. Killing them is mercy, as he cleanly swipes a guy's head off, clean off of his shoulders. But as he does this, another one launches him through the window, crashing him outside of the bar. And here's where things get really interesting. As you see, these guys came prepared, because yeah, in the Marvel Universe, Wolverine isn't some hidden figure. His healing factor and what he can do with his claws are pretty well known. So conventional weapons such as bullets or guns aren't really going to do anything, so they brought some bigger weapons. As you see Wolverine get hit in the back by some kind of beam, specifically an electromagnetic beam, which this almost military grade squad is using to attack him, which in his own words he calls it a heat ray, as it literally starts cooking him alive from the inside out, with Wolverine even going on to describe in detail it, saying it's supposed to be non-lethal, but tell that to the adamantium lining his bones. Every inch of his body is scorching, searing skin and metal together, molten hot blades inside of a scalding flesh forge. And the pain is so great that he can't move, can't breathe, but at the same time he can't die. So he's in a continuous cycle of being burned, pained, but then healed again, and it continues. And he would have been trapped like this if it wasn't for some outside help completely destroying the machine and freeing him. And as this new help arrives, we even see them take out the rest of the armed soldiers, using arrows of all weapons. And who is this? Who has come to the rescue of Wolverine? Well, we see it's a lady named Louise. And this isn't just some random person, no, Wolverine and her have a history, which we will get into very shortly. But for now, Logan recovers from the battle and they head back into the bar and start to talk. And as they talk, they catch each other up with what's been going on in their lives. As you see, Louise was trained and was part of an order known as the Night Guard, which is basically an elite vampire hunter house sworn to seek out and destroy any vampires. But things happen and she crossed paths with Wolverine, and after some battles, she and the rest of her order were either killed or turned into vampires themselves. So it seems Logan is surrounded by vampires, even down to his allies. But you see, she isn't like the rest. No, you see, when she first got turned, Logan took her to another realm, populated by vampires who learned long ago how to control their bloodlust and become basically normal. But because of all of that, she's basically had an existential crisis, as because the human she once was technically dead, as she is a vampire now, something entirely new. And so her life purpose before of hunting and exterminating vampires really isn't applicable in her now state, so she really isn't sure what to do, and that's why she answered Logan's call for help. And so with that, Logan himself starts to recap what has been going on with this whole blood hunt event and vampires invading and trying to take over the entire world. At least from his perspective, as you see Logan in his own words was killing time and brain cells in some casino just outside of Vegas, with him even thinking to himself, it felt good to have some time off for once. But obviously he should have known better to know that this wouldn't last. As in the midst of his little casino run, absolute chaos erupts everywhere as the vampire herds start to come and feed on people in the casino. And if that wasn't weird enough, it seems like a bunch of them knew Logan personally, at least his name, and came there specifically for him, with Logan going on to say, I didn't know how he knew me, and frankly, I didn't care, as he pops his claws and gets right to doing what he does best, killing and taking out these vampires like a well-oiled machine, slicing and dicing every enemy he sees without failure. And as he is done mopping the floor with them, he steps outside to not only see the chaos is widespread, but the sun is no longer there and the skies are darkened. And so with that, Logan realizes he is really out of the loop and has no idea what is going on. So he fights his way more out and heads to his motorcycle, riding off and calling down to some people he knows at the CIA for some help and knowledge of what even is going on. In which his agent buddy gives him a little rundown, basically the vampires and Blade leading them took control of every Dark Force user on the planet and using their abilities to darken the sky, which makes it an eternal feeding ground for vampires as they decided to come out, hunting and turning everybody that they could. But this brings us back to current time, as Logan came to this bar to wait for Louise. As being a former vampire hunter herself, he could tap into her vampire expertise. But she then goes on to make an observation, saying, so both the soldiers here and the casino guard seem to be seeking you out specifically, and they knew who you were. Do you even have any idea why? But of course Logan doesn't and was relying on the CIA agent to try and get some intel. And just at that moment he gets a call back. And his little agent buddy going on to say that the National Guard unit that attacked you here has a bunch of other active vehicles that he is tracking, and they're a part of a convoy that is moving west real fast. So Logan decides to go after them, bringing the lady Night Guard along with him, to try to hunt these new agents and get some intel about why are they hunting and attacking him. And so as they get on their bikes and head off, Logan makes a notice of how the roads are so empty, and how he has never seen this before. But their little ride doesn't last long as they're driving up, it seems there was agents waiting for them, as one fires a rocket blowing them off of their vehicles. But of course, Wolverine is able to recover first thanks to his healing factor and all. He gets a drop on some of the agents, and as he is attacking, he thinks to himself, wait a minute, I know these guys. They are mercenaries, professional killers, which means somebody has hired them. So first it started with the casino guards, then the National Guard, and now these mercenaries. Someone is doing this on purpose. A sequence of events progressively getting harder, maybe to even test him in some way. But so as Wolverine and Night Guard continue to sweep house and check out all of these agents, suddenly he gets another call. But no, not from his friend at the CIA, it is someone named Maverick, who again he has a history with, and it's pretty complicated, but the TLDR is he is an elite mercenary who has worked with Wolverine back on the Team X days. And as it turns out, obviously this guy's up to no good, as he is the one who has sent mercenaries to attack Wolverine. But that's not all, as he goes on to explain he has sent everybody, from the night guards at the casino to the military personnel at the bar. And why? Well, he says it's an early little proof of concept for his new partners, or aka a test. Originally, Wolverine is thinking this is some kind of hit job, but no. Maverick goes on to explain, this isn't about money or killing you, it's about bringing Wolverine over to his side. He then goes on to continue saying, humans and mutants had their chance, and they both struck out swinging, but now, the vampires are stepping up to the plate, and something tells me they're going to knock it out of the park. But of course Logan doesn't like the baseball terms, as he then simplifies it, saying, I'm preparing for the impending power vacuum, when all that is left are vampires fighting for the crown. But still, Wolverine says that is stupid and makes no sense. Maverick goes on to say maybe not now, but it will. I am building an alliance, an army, and no, not just with humans. But I'm missing one thing. The one thing that'll tilt all the odds in my favor. Our very own weapon of mass destruction. You, Wolverine. So either you can play for the winning side, or you can keep fighting. But I gotta warn you, pal, it only gets harder from here. As he smirks and we see his vampire fangs, meaning Maverick is now playing on the side of the vampires, and is trying to turn Wolverine to get him to his side, either willingly or forcefully. As he then finishes up saying, if you can't beat him, join him. As we see Wolverine and his new duo, Night Guard, surrounded by more and new agents and previous ones getting up, ready to attack and restrain them once more. But that is all for now, as this video and issue comes to a close. Now, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like or even subscribe if you're new and enjoy this type of content. This is the Hero Informer, and thank you for watching.